Jessica and fellow rising stars. Well, if you've been here the past few weeks, then our speaker needs no introduction. Amy has been flying through the Competent Communicator, giving 3 speeches in 2 weeks. Well, no, this will be the 4th speech in 3 weeks. So it is my pleasure to introduce Amy in her speech today, which is titled "The Language of a 2-Year-Old." So if she falls on the floor, it's not a seizure, it's not a medical emergency, it's part of her speech. Because she is doing project number 5, Your Body Speaks. But this is actually her 7th speech, so she's taken a step back in the manual and going to project 5. So her goal for this speech is to have no distracting physical actions, to be intentional with her body and her gestures, or any suggesting meanings that do not agree with the verbal message. So the movements match what she is saying. And that all gestures, body movements, and facial expressions add emphasis and clarity to her words. Timer, this will be a 5 to 7 minute speech, so green card at 5, yellow at 6, and red at 7. And help me in welcoming Amy up to the podium for her speech, The Language of a 2-Year-Old.
2-year-olds have a very unique language. Depending on if they've just turned 2 or they're about to turn 3, depends on how much their language has developed. And we're talking about the average 2-year-old in this speech, not the advanced ones. One thing that I've learned over the years is when they're talking to just space out. Your brain will figure out what they're saying and you'll actually get about 90% of it. And the 10% you don't get, most of the time their parents don't understand either, or it wasn't that important. Each 2-year-old is very unique. I thought that my 2-year-old nephew would be a little mini-me of my 5-year-old nephew, his cousin. He's entirely different. The 5-year-old is all boy. It could be the fact that the 2-year-old's got a 5-year-old older sister. The sister and I were doing our nails, and the 2-year-old comes running over. He wants his done too. And then, in 5 seconds, he's got his shoes and socks off, and wants a pedicure also. It's also important to know their language, because with my niece, my 2-year-old niece, she'll actually puke on you if she doesn't want to be held, which most of the time is easily avoided, but once in a while, when you're not paying attention, you may get into trouble. We stand around in a circle and let the kids run around between us. And the second cousin I'll do rocket ships with. Well, I noticed she all of a sudden got kind of heavy. And I sat there praying, oh, please don't pick on me, please don't pick on me. And she didn't, so I was so excited. I know, everyone has told you, open communication by having open-ended questions. You want to facilitate communication. It doesn't work with a 2-year-old. You want closed questions, 1-word answers. If you lead them a bit, it's even better. And if it ends with a yes or a no, that's the best. For instance, with my 2-year-old nephew, if you ask him what color this tomato is, you probably won't get the right answer. If you ask him, is the tomato red? You're more likely to get the right answer. Now, if you're trying to do those questions and they look at you kind of confused, it's most likely because they don't understand. I was babysitting a set of triplets, and they were telling me about how they had holes in their socks. And the engineer in me analyzed it, looked at, they seemed to have holes in the same exact spot of their socks, and it looked like it was the same manufacturer, so I asked them, well, did you write a letter of complaint to the manufacturer? Yeah, I swore I heard crickets. But luckily, a game of duck, duck, goose solved that problem. Using my 2-year-old nephew again, he likes to play this game I call fetch. You ask him to get something, he brings it to you. If you ask him for tea, he'll go to his little kitchen and he'll make you tea. A lot of times it might have crayons in it, but that's a 2-year-old chef for you. I was not trying to set him up for failure. I really thought that every 2-year-old knew what this was. And I had seen at least 2 of them in his toy chest. So when I asked him to bring me a fire truck, and he brought me a dump truck, well, when you're speaking to someone who doesn't understand English, you start speaking louder and enunciating more. It doesn't work with 2-year-olds either. It went something like this. Can you bring me a fire truck? Truck. No, a fire truck. Truck. A fire truck. Truck. Until I finally realized that he had no idea what we were talking about. So he went to his toy chest, and the fates were against me that day because I couldn't find one. But luckily, the next week, there was a parade. And that is a great opportunity to point out all sorts of different types of trucks. And by the end, he was confidently pointing out 4 different types of trucks. It also is a great place to work on your leading questions, especially if there are a lot of car clubs. It's the same car in different colors. It's really easy. Do you like the blue one, the red one, or the green one? And usually they'll pick one of the 3. A more advanced one may pick the 4th color, but it's all good. So in summary, when talking to a 2-year-old, space off and just let your brain figure out what they're saying, and you'll get the majority of it. Ask open-ended questions, closed-ended questions that are leading. And if they end with a yes or a no, that's even better. Every 2-year-old is unique, so you need to learn their individual languages. It may save yourself from getting puked on later. Trust me on that one. And finally, just enjoy talking to the 2-year-old. And if they don't understand, this is a great opportunity to teach them something new. Thank you.